Greetings! I'm Beauty Baba Yaga, and in this series I will be reviewing MagiRanger, the Japanese counterpart to Power Rangers Mystic Force. MagiRanger is a season of the long-running Japanese hero show Super Sentai, which for the past 30 years has been donating their footage and costumes to the production of Power Rangers. As a huge Power Rangers fan, it's about time that I got into the source material that inspired it all. This series will also be a shameless plug for my GoFundMe, which you can find at the very bottom of my link tree because I'm bashful about money. By donating to this GoFundMe, you will help me build a better studio so I can create better content for you. Help me help you. Now let's go talk about magicians. If you're a Power Rangers fan, I'm sure you're wondering, why not pick ZeoRanger? ZeoRanger is the Sentai series that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers adapted footage from, i.e., it's the season that started it all. Well, I've never really been one for doing things chronologically. Whenever someone asks me what season of Power Rangers they should watch first, my response is, pick one that has a theme you like. There are lots of themes: dinosaurs, animals, cars, there's a space one, and if you pick something you're already interested in, you're more likely to enjoy it, and then you're more likely to watch more seasons. So, ZeoRanger doesn't particularly interest me, but I've always been intrigued by MagiRanger. First of all, because I love the visuals in Mystic Force, but second of all, I know all 5 Rangers on the team are siblings, and while we've had a couple siblings on teams before in Power Rangers, never a full family team, which is something that really intrigues me because it'll change the entire dynamic. During the opening theme, there's this shot at the end where the camera pans in on them and the 5 Rangers are lined up looking out over the ocean and the wind is blowing their capes and they all do a pose. That shot goes so hard. I mean, that's some good stuff right there. I do not like the opening theme song as much as the end credits song, which to me says something about a failing in the intro theme. It's fine, and then you get to the end and it's like, Magi, and I'm like, this is a bop. And now I will go through this chronologically and attempt to explain the plot while I give my review. We start out, a little girl gets a red balloon, she's walking with it, but oh no, a boy playing soccer bumps into her and she loses the balloon. It turns out that is the youngest of 5 siblings who live together with their single mother. He ends up climbing on this thing and nearly killing himself to get the balloon back for the little girl. And when his siblings are like, what is wrong with you, you could have died, just go buy her a new balloon, they're only 50 cents. He's like, but that's the balloon she wanted, proving he's an idiot. Then, demons start coming up through glowing portals on the ground, and their mother suddenly reveals to them, by transforming in front of them, that she is a snow wizard. There's this really great scene where she fights a monster who throws a car at it, and she stops it with her magic and then vaporizes it and then freezes him. And then she turns and says checkmate. And he explodes behind her, and you're like, this woman is cool. This woman is my hero. I model my life after this woman. And my favorite thing about that was later, when the youngest brother finally became the Red Ranger, he did the same thing, turned himself into fire, blew up all these henchmen, and he turned around and said, checkmate, and they all exploded behind him. And I was like, aw, he just like his mama. Anyway, like any superhero origin story, they basically trip on a rock and fall right into it. Their mom is immediately like, pew 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 magic, you're all wizards now! When they all got their suits, they very specifically showed a glow effect and a choker necklace appearing that has a little symbol on it. Each one is their element, and their mom already had one with a little snowflake on it. I really liked that, and I wondered if it was a marketing ploy at the time because it made me want those necklaces. Anyway, they go out to fight the demons, and their mom gives some lame excuse about why they have to do it by themselves. She's like, I have to sit here in a glowing triangle and save my energy. But the youngest brother doesn't get to be a wizard. And the mom's reason is he's not afraid of anything because he's stupid, not because he's courageous. In order to have courage, you have to feel fear. And he's too dumb to feel fear, so he doesn't have real courage. He does not like that. He does not take that very well, but it was very well spoken on her part. They get the beat down from a big purple wizard with he just seems real sleepy. The big purple wizard, he's like, I'm purple wizard. Check out my shield and my sword. So I don't know how I feel about that guy. He looks cool, but he's just very slow-spoken. Right before he's about to kill them, he kicks a can and it hits the guy's sword right before he's gonna like chop his brother, and then he runs over and stands in front of him, and he doesn't have a magical suit on, so he's like totally exposed, and the guy swings down the sword, he grabs it in his hands, and that's the moment when he transforms into a wizard for the first time. And I really enjoyed that because that's such a trope, like standing in front of everybody, no, don't hurt him, and it's like all odds against him. It's a very moving trope. Kind of makes you really, really root for that character. Then they have their first battle. Their mom shows up to fight the knight, and he kills her, which I was not expecting. They have a motive now. The actress that did the voiceover for the death scene went way too hard. And I had just been watching a fight where someone turned themselves into a fan and blew a bunch of people over. And then suddenly there's these blood-curdling screams as a woman dies. And it felt like a very, very abrupt tonal change, and I did not like it. She screamed like 7 times. So they're all upset that their mom's dead, obviously. But 3 of them are like, we gotta go keep fighting. And I'm supposed to, like, I think as an audience member, be mad at the other 2 for not going to fight, but like their mom just died. So I have mixed feelings about that. In the second episode, we get the introduction of 2 more commonly recurring villains, and I only know they're going to be recurring villains, A, because of the way they were introduced, and B, because they're recurring in Mystic Force. But it's 2 women, Nai and Mare. I really enjoyed the wordplay with the name, Nightmare. They're both wearing these like crazy, lacy, frilly Lolita outfits, all in black with like little batwing headdresses. And I freaking love that. Plus they're like spitting darkness energy balls out of their mouths and just going like blah. I found that really appealing for some reason. I also really enjoyed that one of them has black lipstick and one has blue lipstick. They're like variations on the same thing, which I think is far more visually interesting and makes them more likable characters. They're obviously twinning, but they're not identical. So they smush together and become a vampire woman, which is cool and disturbing at the same time. But definitely my favorite character so far. The 5 siblings end up coming together as a team. They defeat their first monster. They find the hidden room in their house where their mom kept all the magic stuff. They decide they're gonna be superheroes because it's what their mom wanted and they want to honor her memory. They also learn from a hologram of her that their dad died when they were little, fighting the same ancient evil that they're fighting now. The thing that really slayed me at the end, the Blue Ranger, the sister, she's like, we can't just keep moping around forever. Your mom has been dead for like 7 hours. It's time for us to move on. Did you care about her at all? That made me not like the Blue Ranger very much. I know it's just the pilot and we're just getting the characters kind of like grayly defined, but right now, they're not all that interesting. I mean, the Red Ranger's just young and brazen. The Yellow Ranger is just the older brother who's like, I'm cooler than you guys because I'm old. And I know that he is going to turn out to be that archetype where like he flunked out of school or he can't get a job. Well, that's why he's pretending to be cooler than you all the time because he's actually really insecure. So I actively don't like him. The Blue Ranger doesn't really have a lot going on. The Pink Ranger is very much just like she has other people do everything for her and she cries a lot. Just basic and sexist. Right now, my favorite one is the Green Ranger because of the scene at the beginning where he brings in a big salad tray with a smiley face on it and his brother is trying to be a naysayer and be like, blah, 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 why are you so interested in salad? And he's just like, happy morning, salad's good for you, and like sets it on the table. I was just like, this dude, I love this dude. And then of course he turns out to be the Plant Ranger. I liked the way he kind of just brushed off the negativity and rose above, so I think I'm really gonna like him. At the end of every episode during the credits, we see a potted plant puppet that is like interacting with the kids watching the TV show. And he, I think, is going to be their mentor character because we did see him briefly, though he was not introduced, in the Hidden Magic Room. And I'm gonna say, I love that puppet and I'm excited for him to be in it. Well, that concludes my review for the 2-part pilot episode of MagiRanger. Catch me next week for the review of the next 5 episodes and please donate to my GoFundMe.